All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for The Mandalorian, Season 1, Episode 5.
Okay.
All right, so we have met Cara Dune. We have now determined that no, we need to be really remote and really not broadcasting our place in the galaxy, because these people with the fobs, the guilds, bounty hunters are...
They will find you.
They are attentive,
yes.
And there are a lot of people
motivated.
who are also motivated to pass on that info of a Mandalorian in full Beskar
with a child.
A child.
Yeah.
So
and whether it was that got people to the planet and then the fob helped find them, or the fobs can go from between planets, I don't know.
I'm gonna hold out that please make the planets local. So maybe if they're in the system at the very least, then you can do that.
Right, because
galactic stuff is a bit ridiculous.
Yes,
I mean, those things are little tiny.
And now they could just be like, don't think about it.
Don't think about
like
it,
how you don't think about the fact that the Mandalorian has a ship with big cannons on it, and they knew they had to fight the ATST with the thing, so they could have set something up at the ship to just blow it away. But
true. The ATST could have just,
it could have actually seriously damaged the ship, and maybe our titular character was actually like, okay, I like these people, but I'm not going to risk.
My ship for them. Right. That makes a lot of sense. But now we have to find a good place to lay low, and a place that will actually be a more permanent solution. Otherwise. The Mandalorian is going to have to continue to do jobs in order to pay for the fuel that is necessary for him to stay moving, which would then bring him to more places where people would want to get the kid and kill him.
Or get a Beskar backpack. Like, that is a very legitimate option that he could shoot for. But
yes, that's true. Now, while Mandalorians are rare, just one walking around in Beskar, but having the kid not be visible, he might be able to maneuver his way around. Now the being like, oh no, that's not from my clan. No, deception check. No, you failed. Natural 3.
Yeah, but at the very least, then he'd be able to have Baby Yoda not be looking around all adorable and getting sniped potentially by a bounty hunter. Because that was a big scare.
All those bounty hunters
are
just thirsty for karma. They're just going around there like, all right, there's so much meme potential here. I have to get the best shot I can.
That's right.
Because they were obviously not going to shoot Baby.
No. Just the natural charm of that adorable face would have turned them to the Mandalorian side. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, and then come back here for the discussion.
Okay.
All right, rather simple episode.
Yep.
We introduce a trio of new characters here.
Yes.
We've got Peli, who is my favorite of the three, obviously.
Definitely.
Yep. We've got Tora, the fledgling young bounty hunter, who's
my least favorite of the three.
Absolutely, yes. Yep. He gave it his best shot.
Yep.
And he got a little bit too big of eyes for his capacity. And the thing is that there are tons of people like that. I like that it makes the galaxy a lot more desperate. You have people who are not competent like the Mandalorian, who don't have Beskar like the Mandalorian, who don't have all the combat training like the Mandalorian.
Yep.
And it's their big shot. Like, think about Tora. Like, do you think he has family? Do you think he has anyone that he cares about out there? No. I mean, maybe not.
I mean, there probably were at some point, but he left them behind to,
to go and do his life.
Do his thing. Yeah.
Yeah. He's in the Outer Rim. There's not much really, options for this guy necessarily.
Yeah.
He's not even that great with common sense and stuff.
No, definitely not.
But he got a little clever. He got a little clever, thinking that this would be, something that could work.
If he had, done a little, gotten a bit more information, he could have just, I don't know, gone back, gotten Baby Yoda, since I'm pretty sure she said, yes, the Mandalorian wasn't the actual target, right? That the kid was the target.
It is both, though.
Right. But at that point, he could have just been like, cool, yeah, I have a swoop bike he's got to do back. I'll definitely beat him back. I don't want to mess with him because he could kill me, right? Yeah. And then I'll just get the kid, get his ship, leave, and
go to Navarro.
Go to Navarro and be like, hey, boom, I just totally gypped the Mandalorian and stole this from right under his nose.
Yeah, and if you want, I've got his location and everything. He's stuck on Mos Eisley in Tatooine.
that would be pretty impressive. And he could have, and the thing is, now I don't know how that would have worked necessarily, but theoretically, a truly entrepreneurial, resourceful person would have been like, okay, cool. The assassin lady's handcuffed. If I can knock her out, take her back on the swoop bike.
I wouldn't trust myself to go actually that close to her.
All right, fair enough. Okay, well, set the blaster to stun. Assuming it
might
has
not
a
be able
stun
to
setting.
do that.
Yeah,
His blaster looks really
sure. Yeah. But assuming that he could, because imagine, because he already has her in captivity, as long as he isn't super stupid, right? You know, which he'd have to be careful about because she's an assassin and all that stuff.
That would be him bringing her on the swoop bike conscious. That would be stupid.
Sure. So drag her behind it. Like,
she wouldn't live.
Go slow, ish. Slowest swoop bike still faster than the fastest do back.
No. His decision making was sound, Jacob. Yes. Right up until the point he decided to stay on the planet and try and get both of them.
Yeah, that's dumb.
So that's dumb. The thing. He is actually clever because he was like, wait a minute. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. Screw the Mandalorian.
Yep.
I don't need to do that.
And that's what I thought was like. I at first I thought that he was going to be like, I'm going to go kill the Mandalorian and I'm going to get you to help me. It's like, okay, that's one thing, but she has no motivation to help you kill the Mandalorian because she's trying to be in hiding. Yep. So she would just kill you. You figured that out. Good. But then it's like, wait, is he going after the Mandalorian himself? No. He's just going to get the kid. But then he stayed behind. So yeah.
So that's the failings of Torah. That makes sense there.
Indeed.
I like how Peli was one, though, who is experienced to the idea of, like, I'm going to get credits. Yeah, sure, I've heard that one before.
Uh-huh.
And like, what is she going to do? She's not the kind of person where she's, like not going to make enemies with the people that are docking their ships there.
Right.
Because in some ways, like, she's got them by the balls no matter what. Because if they leave their ship in her care, it's kind of a good faith agreement that she's not going to do anything to the ship or scavenge it for parts or anything like that.
Yeah. So and he's a Mandalorian in full Beskar, so if he says he's going to get a job, he'd probably be able to.
Right, but she can guilt trip them into paying a few credits if she's like, yeah, whoa, you really got some carbon scoring build up there. If I wouldn't know any better, I'd say you were in a in a shootout. Anyway, so
this ship with a bunch of bullet holes might have been shot at. Yeah.
I mean, carbon scoring,
right,
different than bullet holes.
Yeah.
Holes in space, then there would be a problem.
That would indeed be an issue. Yeah. Even though his engine did get shot out, but
the engine isn't necessarily connected to the interior part of the ship.
This is very true. But
her definitely isn't.
Her character was fantastic. I'm really glad that she basically commented on because the whole thing of the Mandalorian leaving the kid there, right?
Yeah.
Obvious setup for a plot point later, right? Because he's leaving the MacGuffin in a place unattended, and it's a MacGuffin that can walk around, right?
Yeah.
Bad idea. And she comments on it. She's like, "You really don't know how to take care of a kid, do you? You can't just leave a kid, by itself like that."
Yeah.
Right. And he had kind of figured that out, but he's like, I'll kind of lock it in the ship, and hopefully that'll work, right?
But this kid can use the Force, so it probably was just like, I want out.
Yeah, it's a smart little bugger. It's been watching
around
you
for 50
and learning
years
from
too.
you. Yeah, it knows what it needs to do to get out of the ship now. It might not have before, but it does now.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that means that he's going to probably do some kind of backpack type situation in the future. Or he's going to have to figure out a way to have, like, a literal caretaker at specific parts there. Well, he'll be like, it might need to be a droid too, because a droid will follow specific programming and won't actually betray you unless it's an autonomous droid, which that almost never is the case.
Or having the survival instinct problem of I'm caring for this baby that's going to have bounty hunters coming after it on the regular. So
curious, right, how that kind of stuff might end up coming full circle.
Yep.
It is also rather funny given that the last time we saw kind of a background kind of flashback thing for him, we came really close to watching him getting shot by a super battle droid, and then suddenly cut away, and we still haven't gotten back to that yet. I guess he needs to get more Beskar so they can hit the forge thing, so it triggers his PTSD, you know?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. But this episode got us, I would say, a little bit of info on the way things are going in the Outer Rim with regards to Tatooine, since it used to be a primary hub for the Hutts and their business because Jabba the Hutt was a big deal.
Yep.
Now that he's been dead for 5 years or something like that. Yeah. I think that's just confirmation, though. Would you say that the Hutts and the Bounties Guild is they're affiliates of each other in some kind of business sense or what have you?
One of the things that I gotta say I really appreciated this episode was how they did the whole bit with swoop bikes. So the stuff with Tatooine and going back to Tatooine specifically and Mos Eisley and the canteen and all that stuff, it's great fun, and Tusken Raiders and blah 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 blah, all that fan service stuff, it's great. But the part specifically with, okay, there's a sniper over there. You know how I love snipers, right?
Yes.
And they worked around the sniper problem very effectively. He's got Beskar, but at close range,
swoop
I don't know if that'll work.
Swoop
bikes do not have Beskar. The whole thing of the Beskar not being able to close range, whatever, I don't know how I feel about that. But the whole thing of tactics, okay, sniper, this is a bad situation. How do we deal with this? Okay, we've got swoop bikes. That's really good. They don't have Beskar, but they can get us close. Okay, flares. Awesome. Yeah, to throw off the shots, because if she hits us, we're in trouble, right? And then they close the distance, and there you go, right? I thought that was very well handled. It had a lot of good, like, exciting moments that were also visually very just pretty to look at.
Yeah, and using that whole thing at night so that the contrast of the sudden bright light actually means that, her infrared sensors or what have you aren't going to be able to work
she'll have to be using infrared sensors most likely, and those can definitely get thrown off by a sudden very hot thing going up above.
A bright hot thing.
Right.
So they handled her quite well. It feels bad having an amazing actress just being this throwaway side character. But hey, you know what? I am all for throwaway side characters in Star Wars because it makes the galaxy feel bigger.
Yes.
And I'm tired of every single character ever introduced in Star Wars being some big character tied to some grand lineage of a bloodline or an organization.
Keeping up with the Skywalkers,
Yeah, so let's have these kinds of one-off characters where they just build the universe a little bit more.
I will say, though, one of the things that they keep setting up with these side characters that they introduce, that I'm very glad that they do with these side characters, as the ways and the means that they deal with them in the episodes, is they set them up so that they could potentially be an ally to the Mandalorian.
Yes.
They don't end up being an ongoing ally with the Mandalorian, but it's set up so that it could be the case. In the previous episode,
every single one.
In the previous episode, we had that with Cara Dune. You know, we had that with Mr. I have spoken. And in this episode, both with Toro and with the assassin. Toro stops because he was
she was a mercenary, not an assassin, but yeah. They said she was an elite mercenary.
I think they said both at different points.
Okay. Well, they said that she killed like top people and stuff like that. So she was an assassin effectively.
She's
a killer for hire.
But in a situation like this, she is also someone that is basically that has a fob on her, right? So she is also on the outs with the guild. Or no, it wasn't guild work. Wait. She
had a fob on her.
Right, okay. But but the point is that it's someone that is basically being hunted, right?
Yes.
That is someone that theoretically could be an ally of the Mandalorian, and because they're competent, it's someone that the Mandalorian would actually potentially want to have along for the ride.
Sure.
And the fact that we had someone at the end of this episode that goes up to her body, which I'm guessing since they're doing that, she's not actually dead, and it was just a gut shot or whatever, right? Whoever that is, it means she's at least still alive. Which means that, one, she could be sent after the Mandalorian as a way to try and clear her own head, right? Or two, she could end up, because she's still alive, there could be another encounter later on, and then whatever, right? That would be interesting at the very least.
So she sat out in the desert in the same spot for over 24 hours because she was unconscious?
Or too wounded to really move. I don't know. Well, okay. Why would they show the person going up to her at the end?
They're looking for the Mandalorian or something like that. It could be anything. I feel like that's a bit reaching to say that she's gonna be alive. I think to build her up as competent and stuff like that, what they could have done if they wanted to show like even the slightest bit of time is have her propped up against the rock. She's like patched herself up. Someone comes up to her, and she's just like, oh, come on. And then it cuts the episode. Like, they literally could have had anything to be like, she's alive, but barely. Someone else comes to her, and to build up them more, it's a thing of where it's like, she's like, just my day. Right.
Like, well, I didn't. From what I gathered from that bit, it didn't make me think that the person that found her was after the Mandalorian, but rather that they had a fob on her.
Right. Yeah. So like that whole scene still works. That way of her just being like, another one, like, oh, come on, like, yeah, just my luck, know.
And either they found her and she's dead, and that's no good because apparently she's no good to us dead. Apparently it's something where she has to be brought back in alive, or she's still alive. That's a conflict point that is left open that can be brought back in later. Right.
What it might also be is that, like, them going to grab her or what have you, whoever this is, it's another bounty hunter. It could be the Mandalorian because he does have a cape that kind of looks like that, but I didn't see Beskar steal boots.
And they probably would have shown that it was the Mandalorian if that was the case.
Yeah, because you don't need to make that a mystery.
Exactly.
It's him.
Yeah. And the other thing that I might have expected them to do is someone else that's after her. They come up to her, they think she's dead, and then they show her like turning it on them, right? And actually like, she's still alive, she's okay, and that's sort of the resolution of her character of she gets away, right? She kills this hunter that's after her or whatever, and then she's able to use whatever means they got there to escape, right? But they didn't do that. It was more of an introduction for the person that was showing up rather than her.
Yeah, and this is Star Wars, so this is a science fiction fantasy universe where Bacta tanks exist. And yes, if they wanted to, they could have it be a thing of where, just like Luke in episode 5, we're going to grab this person, throw them in the tank, and they might be basically dead. But who knows? They could.
But there's a big difference between mostly dead and all dead.
Exactly. And I would say that means that, that means that there could be some potential for her in the future. And I do think if we want to meta analyze this, she's a pretty big actress to be brought in for just a throwaway, like 10
this
minute,
is true.
Maybe even, what was it, like 5-minute part in an episode?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it's more interesting when you build up, especially given that the characters that are being introduced aren't these big galaxy shaking people, right? Leaving them alive is way more interesting because then you're essentially populating the world. Right,
that's what I was saying earlier, is that getting these characters like Cara Dune and Peli is exciting because then it makes the galaxy feel actually somewhat big.
Right.
And while it might make it actually end up feeling smaller in a future season or what have you, because we keep bumping into the same characters because they're done introducing new characters or something, I don't think they're going to do that.
Right.
But, it's fun. It's fun. Pretty simple episode. Looking forward to more of them. And if you want to see the next one we're reacting to, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length reactions there. And all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about Star Wars, about the Mandalorian, about just Star Wars stuff in general, like, science fiction, stuff like that, like Jacob's science fiction book that he wrote.
Boom. Segue. I wrote a sci-fi novel. It's called Battle Lines. It's awesome. It comes from a place of much passion about sci-fi armor and snipers and all of that stuff.
And Mandalorians.
So, if you liked this episode or just this show in general, go check it out. It's available on Amazon. Link in the description. It's in both hardback and ebook. So whichever works best for you, go check it out.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.